You're watching Through the Looking Glass with Dr. Ginny Klein.
Hi, I'm Ginny Klein, and I've missed you, so I'm back with a new show for us all. It's about our feelings, fears, and fantasies, our pain and our pleasure, our problems and our solutions. It's a time for us to get together, talk things over, think things over, and find out that we are not alone. Perhaps then we can make this world and our lives just a little bit better. Did you ever feel that you never get what you want? Let's take a closer look at just that issue. Hi, Kathy, how are you?
Hi, Dr. Klein. I'm okay.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Good, I'm glad.
Actually, I'm fine. The only reason why I'm here is because I have a friend and I respect her opinion and her judgment, and we were having a glass of wine the other night, and she said to me, you know, Kathy, I think maybe you should go talk to Dr. Klein.
Oh.
And she told me that I keep blaming other people for things.
Do you?
Do I? You know, I don't know. Do I?
Did she give you an example, Kathy?
No.
Okay.
No, she said it's just a really good idea because I can't hear her for some reason. She tries to explain things to me and I don't understand what she's saying. So she said maybe if I go talk to you, that I would hear it better.
Well, she didn't explain any example.
No.
She didn't have an example.
I'll just tell you what's been going on, and I talk to her a lot, so maybe this is it. I have a family. I have 3 grown children and a husband and parents and, you know, everybody. And I just feel that I can never get anything I want.
Really? From whom?
From anybody. From anybody.
Do you have a mirror in the house?
Yeah, but you know, I'll ask.
Who's looking back at you in the mirror when you look at the mirror?
I am.
That's someone you can get something that you want if you give it to yourself.
Well, that's what she tries to tell me, that I have to do for myself, which I do for myself, so I don't understand this. Here's an example. If I'm going out with my 2 sons, and I thought maybe it was a male thing. I go out with my 2 sons and they say, Mom, where do you want to go? And I said, oh, I think I'd like to go to Japanese. And they go, oh yeah, Japanese. No, we really want to go for Italian. And that's where we go.
What do you say to them after that?
I said, didn't I just say I wanted to go for Japanese? Yeah, but 2 against 1, we want to go for
Then
Italian.
why did you ask me what I wanted if you weren't willing to respect it? Did you ever say that to them?
They ask me, and they say, yeah, well, that's a good idea, but...
But, in other words, it was a polite thing, but it wasn't a respect for what you wanted.
But these are my 2 sons.
So
my husband does the same thing. You know,
Well, they might have learned it from your husband.
My mother does it. You know, what would you like for your birthday? Oh, I think I would like, you know, a little necklace. They have these little necklaces with your initial on it. I think I would
Did
like
you buy
one
it
of
for
those.
yourself when they didn't do it? When they didn't respect your
wants? Now, how did you
wants?
know that they didn't do it?
Because you're telling me that I never get what I want, and when you say what you want, they ignore it.
Right. If I ask for vanilla, they're going to find a store that does not have vanilla in it.
Why would you tell them what you want when they don't do it? Why don't you just go and get what you want for yourself?
Because I don't
know.
Understand that.
You know, I can be polite to you and say, would you like some coffee? And you say, yes, I'd like some coffee. And then I don't give you the coffee.
Right. That's exactly what happens.
But then what's left? Do you have control over what they do and don't do?
But
respect your wants? Do you have any power over what they do?
I would think that if they ask me
They should. They don't.
what I want,
They don't.
and I tell them, if I'm very bossy, walking around telling people, I want this, I want that, I want the,
Yeah,
that's not who I am.
Yes, but it's
They
not.
ask me, and
This
then
is not a. You're not doing anything wrong. They asked you, you told them, they ignored it. They are wrong.
my husband will ask me, would you like a nice cup of coffee? And I go, oh, that sounds great. He says, I'll bring it up to you.
And he doesn't.
An hour passes, and he yells up, do you still want that coffee? Why don't you come down?
Kathy, how long has this been going on? How many years?
30 years.
Okay. What have you learned?
Actually,
What have you learned to do when you have seen that they ask you what you want, you tell them what you want, and they don't do it? Why do you keep telling them when you know they won't do it? Why don't you just think about it
but I don't.
and give yourself what you want? Because you won't change them. They want to appear polite, but they don't want to do what is polite. I don't know why, but I know that you won't be aggravated next time you ask, if you ask yourself, what do I want? And then you give it to yourself, because you can't depend on these people. You're telling me that. So why do you keep expecting them to do something different when they don't?
But these are people in my life who ask me
You're saying they
what
should.
I want.
I don't care what you think they should, they're not doing it. So what's left for you about your wants? Who's going to take care of you if they ignore it? Even if they asked you. They're not making sense.
But even if you take the cup of coffee, for example, I am perfectly capable of going downstairs and making myself a cup of coffee.
Good. Why don't you take care of yourself?
I don't mind doing that. I don't even think of it.
You
I
won't
would do
change.
it.
You can't change them. They want to look good but not pay the
Why would
price.
somebody yell up, would you like a cup of coffee? Yeah, that sounds great. And then,
Do you want to know the answer to that question?
yes.
Because I want to appear polite, but I don't want to do what someone else wants. I want to appear. It's an image sale. Oh, how would you like to go to Puerto Rico next week? I'll take you. Would you like to do that? And you say, oh, I'd love to, thank you. And then I don't take you. Would you do, and then the next year I tell you the same thing. What would you like to do? Would you like to go to Puerto Rico? What do you want? And then I ignore it. Why do you keep telling them? Why don't you just ask yourself, what do I want? And say, self, I'm going to go do that for myself. You won't change them.
I know, but I understand what you're saying in a sense.
Yeah.
But if I wanted to go to Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
I would go find somebody to go to Puerto Rico with, make plans, and
Good.
go.
Good.
But that's not what I'm talking about.
You're talking about them changing what they do. You
No.
can't change that.
I'm talking about someone asking me what I want, and
They're not
then-
doing it.
Right.
What's your question? Why do they do that?
Yeah.
They want to look polite, but they don't want to pay the price of keeping their promise. I want to look good, but I don't want to pay the price. I'll walk in the store, I'll order a fine dinner, but I don't pay the check because I want to look good. Hey, what would you like to eat? A steak? Yeah, fine. But when it comes to the check, I don't pay it. I want to look good, but I don't want to pay the price. I want a free ride. See how nice? What do you want, Mommy? Mommy tells them. Then they don't do it. I want to look good cheap. I don't want to pay the price. I don't want to do it. But I want you to think I'm polite. They're not. That's why they do it. I want the image of considering your wants, but I don't want to pay the price of doing anything and keeping my promise.
Is it so tough to do that?
For them, yes. Probably not for you. If they tell you what you want, you probably go do it. You're
Yeah.
a different person. You can't change them. What you can do is stop doing this for 30 years and go ask yourself the question, use their question, and then give yourself what you want, because it's not going to change.
But Dr. Klein, I mean, this is my family.
And they should be this way
But,
and deliver. They don't.
But
you're telling me
my
they don't.
boss is like that. People I work with are like that. My friends are like that.
So who's responsible?
I never get what I want.
Because
if I ask for chocolate, I get vanilla.
Okay, just a minute. If you never get what you want from other people who ask you what you want,
yes,
then who is it? How would you change your expectation of getting what you want if these people don't do it? Who has to give it to you? They're not doing it. Who has to respect your wants? You have to respect them, because you can't make them different. You don't have to like it, but you have to quit.
No, but wouldn't it be nice if somebody would deliver on what they said? You know, somebody?
Pardon my phone, I can't turn it off now. I don't want to interrupt our session.
Somebody. You know, they say, you know, somebody, what can I do for you? That's always the question. What can I do for you? And usually, I'm very self-sufficient. I don't ask for a lot of things.
Wait a minute. It has nothing to do with you. If people say, what can I do for you? And you tell them, and they don't do it, stop depending on that person, because they want to look polite, but they don't want to pay the price. I'll take you to dinner, but I don't pay the bill. Where would you like to go to dinner? So we go to dinner, and when it comes to the check, I don't pay it. Are you going to do that for 30 years with someone? Or are you going to just go to have dinner with a friend? You pay yours and she pays hers. You can't change them, but you can change what you do. Don't expect them to keep their promises, because you have 30 years of experience and you're telling me they don't.
See,
you would get mad about that, right? Aren't you angry about it?
Yes, and I'm angry because people will say to me, well, you don't ask for anything. You're always doing it yourself. You don't ask for anything. And I don't ask for anything, but when I do,
they don't do it. So
even
that's
when
why
they
you
offer.
But that's why you do it for yourself. You have to accept that you have no power over their keeping their promise with that polite, what would you want? And then they ignore it. Accept that that is who they are.
Even my husband, honest to God, he'll say to me, can I help you?
You want them to be different.
And I'll say, yes, this is what you could do.
You have no power over them.
And he'll say, okay, I can do that next week at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, no, I need you to do it now. You know, I can never get now. You know, it's so funny. It's like now doesn't exist.
Kathy, you keep arguing that they should do what they say they're
right, it doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. You're not making any sense by depending for 30 years on people who keep repeating the same pattern, and you're aggravated by it. You can't change them, but you can change you. You ask yourself, what do I want? Okay, they ask the question, then you say, I'm going to go get it for myself, because they don't have the capacity to follow through. And then when you do it for yourself, did you ever just do something for yourself? What do they say? Anything? No. So go do it for yourself, and if they ask you that question, don't tell them.
If I ask for something and my husband tells me he can do it later on in the afternoon,
but he doesn't,
and I do it myself, then he gets angry with me. You couldn't wait?
Yeah, but you have waited for many years, and he doesn't.
No, I couldn't wait. I asked you if you would put out the garbage can for me. It's too heavy.
You can't change anyone else, and I can't change you, but you can. You can learn from 30 years of experience not to answer the question because it doesn't pay. But
See,
you can listen to what you want and then go do it for yourself. And when they ask for something they want, you don't have to go and promise and do it, because it's a one-way street. It's not a two-way street.
see, it's almost, you know, and I've been accused of not trusting people. You know,
Because
if I give somebody a letter to mail and I find it in a jacket pocket 3 days later,
just a minute. Why do you keep trusting them?
I don't. So I do everything myself.
That's right. And then have
I
you
get
ever
angry that I'm doing everything myself.
You're getting angry because you can't make them keep their promise, and you're angry because they're not honest. And I understand that you're angry about it, but that will not change them. Do you tell them that you're angry about it?
Oh, that's another thing. I'm not supposed to be angry ever.
Who taught you that? Your mother? Your father?
No, that's in my family now. I can't be angry. If I'm angry...
Just a minute. You can't be angry about it. So you're coming here and you say, I'm angry about it, I'm angry about it. You are angry about it. But somewhere you're not allowed to say you're angry or complain, so you wind up doing it yourself. You learn that. There's no time in the mind. You learned that when you were a child.
If I complain...
That you can't complain, you can't get angry.
I was called a chronic complainer.
Well, they just don't want to deal with what they are doing, whether it's your parents or your present family. And they're going to put the blame on you.
I have to be in the nice club.
Oh, you're the nice guy.
I have to be in the nice club.
So you're not allowed to get
I cannot complain about anything.
Well, you are.
I can't even say, no, I prefer this. Oh, you don't like it? You know.
They're not listening. If you said to me, I don't want to sit in that chair, I'd like to sit on the couch, I'd say, good, that's okay. I would respect your wants, because I can. They can't, and you're not getting angry at them, is because you learned that when you were a kid. You're not allowed to get angry, but you are very angry about it, and you can take that anger and say, I'm going to do for me. And when it comes to their wants, I'm not going to go out of my way because they got a good deal here. You do what you promise, and they don't. Would you go in business with a person like that? Well, you're enmeshed. You have to accept that what's in your power is to give yourself what you want. You don't have any power over what they do, and it's really sad. But you don't have to. They don't want it. You're never allowed to complain since you're a kid, right?
Right.
Okay, so you're not complaining, but you are angry about it. I respect that you're angry about it. That's not the kind of thing that's reasonable for them to do, but you can't change them. So what's your option?
Don't ask anybody for anything.
Don't tell them what you want. Who do you tell? You got a mirror in the house? Who do you tell?
I know what I want.
And you give it to yourself?
Yes.
Well, good. That's what's in your power.
But that's not my problem.
Your problem is that you imagine you can change their behavior, and you can't. And you're not allowed to get mad.
Because their behavior is not right. You know,
yeah,
and
but,
why?
But, you know, there's lots that's not right. It's not in your power to change.
And why are they like that?
Because they get away with it.
Me.
They get away with it because you're not allowed to be angry.
Well, if my anger doesn't do anything anyway.
That's right. So what's left for you? To accept that that's...
I get angry and it's, oh, you know, what's the matter with you?
You know what you can do? You can take care of yourself. Because what you're describing, you have no power over them.
Because I told my friend, I said, I need a new family.
Well...
that's what I told him. That's when she told me I should come see you.
Yeah, and what I'm saying to you, you accept the things you cannot change, which is other people's behavior, and you change the things you can, which is thinking for yourself, doing for yourself, and accepting the fact that you don't have to like how they are, but you You're not going to sit there and play a game and never, and waiting for them to give you what you want. They're not going to do it.
You know what? I think
You have to give it up.
I think why I get so angry.
Yeah. History is
because-
coming.
No, I just,
Were you angry as a kid when you weren't given what you wanted? Did they ask you what you wanted, your mother, your father?
no.
Did you ever say what you wanted?
Oh, yeah.
Did you get it? Mostly?
No, it was, you'll do this, you'll do that.
Okay, so the thing is, you can say what you want and they'll say it's on you. Did you get angry about that, or couldn't you? Did you feel you don't deserve it?
Maybe that's it.
You felt, I don't deserve to get what I want.
Yeah.
If I was a good girl, they'd give me what I wanted.
But I was.
Yeah, but you can, but you didn't have people.
But I was.
You
I
didn't
would
have-
turn myself inside out.
Yeah, but the point is, that's not going to change them. That's only going to change you. In other words, you had no power over your parents and what they did and didn't do for you. But you thought, maybe if I'm a really good girl, they'll be different. Has nothing to do with it. You probably were a very good girl. But you can't change other
And even
people.
now, I mean, if I say I'm going to do something for someone, I do it.
Well, good.
I mean, you can almost set the clock.
Well,
too. If
take
I
out
say
your
I'm going
compact,
to do that,
open your mirror and ask yourself, what do I want? And then do it for yourself, because you're telling me you got 30 years of experience. Don't wait for them to do it for you, because they're not. They've proved it for 30 years. So you do it for yourself. And stop being a good kid and ignoring you, and do it for yourself. You do what you want for yourself. Then you got your own best friend. You learn how to be your own best friend and keep your promises to yourself. What do I want? Well, I want this and I want that. Go do it for yourself.
I'll give you another example.
Of them or of you?
Maybe, well, I'm in it.
You're in it, but you're powerless over them, but you have power over yourself.
We have this carpeting in the hallway. And every day I want it a certain way in between, you know, the doors of the bedroom. So I pull it down. And my husband must think it goes the other way. And he pulls it the other way toward the closet.
Did you tell him to stop doing that?
Yeah.
What do you do? He keeps doing it.
He says, I like it the other way.
In other words, you never get what you want. You're quite true.
Exactly.
But
so he pulls it one way, I pull it the other way.
Kathy, you're depending on the wrong people. You're the one who's convincing
But I'm
me.
doing it. I want it my way. I pull it my way. And then he says,
That's it.
pulls it his way.
You have power to pull it your way, and I think that's great. You have no power over what he does after that.
Instead of saying, okay, you think it's this way?
You can't win this
Okay.
war. All you can do is pull it your way. You have no power over what he does. And that says, I guess I'm not a perfect girl, because I was a little girl. My parents would listen to my wants, and if I was perfect, then they would do what I wanted. That's an imaginary power. That's not true. The only person who can give you what you want is you.
So I
When
think, I'll be nice to you, you be nice to me.
Just a minute.
That's-
I'll be nice to you is your choice. I'll be nice to me is my choice. I'll be nice to myself is my choice. But whether they're nice to you is beyond your power. And I'm trying to tell you that, so you're not always aggravated. I wouldn't do too much for people who don't keep their promises to me either. So don't stop trying to be a perfect girl, because you're never going to change them. All you're going to do is frustrate yourself.
So what will happen if I just change?
You'll get what you want, because you'll give it to yourself. You're the only one who can. They can't.
No, but if I change, and I'll become like them. you know, if I change and I tell someone I'm going to do something,
Well, no,
and
no,
then I say,
no.
then I forget, and
No.
if I do what I want and I really don't feel like doing it, I just don't do it.
Well, you don't tell them you're gonna. You say, no, I can't do that. I have other things to do. If you feel like doing it, do it. It's your choice. But don't promise you're going to do it like they do and then don't do it, because that'll go against your sense of ethics. Just don't promise it. Just say, no, I have some things to take care of. I can't do that for you, son.
So how come they don't have ethics?
Because they're not you. They're different. And you can't change them. Don't violate your own ethics. Don't promise if you're not going to do it. That's fair. So you can be honest with yourself. But don't make a lot of promises and then think, I got to please, but they don't have to. I keep my promises, but they don't. If you don't make so many promises, because it's a one-way street, you do for them, but they don't do for you. You're the only one who can change that. You can't. They're not going to change.
And they think they're fine.
They can think they can get away with eating the meal and not paying the check all the time. They're making
Do you think they know they're doing that?
You know what? You're more concerned about them than you are about what's in your power to do and not do.
That's what my friend told me.
Well, she's right. Look, we'll talk again next week, okay? But I want you to write it down and see what's in my power and what's beyond my power. Not my imaginary power, my real power. You don't have any real power over them. Oh, but you do over you. You stick to your own ethics. Don't promise what you don't want to do. You take care of yourself. Okay, so we'll see you next week.
Okay.
Okay, practice that. Write it down. Keep a notebook.
All right, I'm going to go get that now
good.
because I'll forget.
Okay, when it's about your wants, you'll forget. Okay.
I don't forget my
Okay.
wants, though.
Okay, we'll see you next week, okay?
Okay, thanks, Dr. Klein.
And if something comes up, give me a call anytime.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, I want to thank Carol Dorley, not Kathy, but Carol Dorley, for being such a wonderful, playing such a wonderful role. And I hope that has helped you if you have the same issue. Carol, you know how to play this role because you're a therapist, right?
Yes, right in Somerville.
In Somerville? Mm-hmm. Carol Dorley has done a lot of shows for me, and it's been always delightful.
It's fun.
And if you've learned something from this, that's great. And I want you to, thanks very much, Carol.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Okay, and I want to thank you for watching and saying hello and bopping around town. Give me a call anytime, and you can call my website, drjennyklein.com, if I remember it, and you can write to the show, and if you have ideas for the show and issues you'd like us to do, please let me know. Give me a call, 908-722-2933, or write to me, and we'll try to accommodate the issues you'd like to see done. In the meantime, you just take very good care of yourself and be good to yourself, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Dr. Jenny Klein would love to hear from you. Email her, jennyklein@gmail.com, or give her a call at 908-722-2933. If you'd like to see more, feel free, just go to drjennyklein.com.